Hey, it's Jamie Anderson, and does changing the strings on your guitar make you want to play the blues? Well, worry no more. In this lesson video, I'm going to teach you how to change the strings on a steel string acoustic. Before we get started, hit that red subscribe button in the corner, and if there's a lesson you'd like me to teach, please put it in the comments below. All right, so you will need a few things before you get started. You need a guitar, obviously, some strings. I have some EADGBE strings. I've been using that brand for years, but there's lots of great brands out there. Make sure whatever strings you get are specifically for the type of guitar that you are playing. So in my case, it's going to be a steel string acoustic guitar. So it'll say that on the package. Do not put nylon strings on a guitar like this. Do not put strings meant for an electric guitar on a guitar like this. You might need some pliers. You might need some wire cutters. Actually, you will need some wire cutters, and a tuner is also a real handy thing to have. Now, a lot of people are a little nervous about changing strings on a guitar because they think that you have to have mechanical aptitude or, be really, have some special talent or some such thing. And I should tell you that I have almost no mechanical aptitude. In fact, technical stuff eludes me. I don't even know how I make these videos, to be honest, but I can change the strings on a guitar, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So I usually do it just sitting in a chair, and I place the guitar flat on my lap. You could also use a table. You could sit on the floor as long as the guitar here is in front of you. So the first thing you want to do is you want to loosen that top string. So you want to loosen it until it sounds like a bad rubber band. See how far it just pulls up. All right, and then you want to pull the pin from the bottom. So this is what I'm pulling right here, okay? And here's where the pliers come in. If it's stuck and you can't pull that out, use a set of pliers, okay? Do not do what I did when I first bought this guitar and use a screwdriver. I don't know if you can see the gouges in my guitar here, but that was done by a screwdriver because I thought, oh, a screwdriver will work. It does not. So pull the string out of the bottom like this, unwind it from the top, and yank it out. Now, a lot of people are afraid of poking their finger with the string. I've never seen anyone go to the emergency room because of a guitar string, so you're probably okay, and if you do get punctured, it's not very much. So then you want the new string. Now, I change my strings one at a time. Your mileage may vary. If you want to change all the strings at once, you can. But what you don't want to do is leave all of the strings off for a long amount of time. So EADGBE thoughtfully color codes their strings, and they're telling me that this top string has a gold knob. So I'm going to put this a little closer to the camera. I don't know if you can see that. I'll also take a picture of it so that you can see the end that I'm talking about. So you're going to put the string right here in the hole, put the pin in next to it so that the indented place is facing towards the sound hole, and press it in as hard as you can. Here's where I move the guitar down this way so that I can reach the top of it better. It's very important to wind the strings from the inside. So I'm taking it from this side and winding it around counterclockwise. So you don't have to wind it around very much. Just find the hole on one side, push it through, and pull it through like this, okay? Then you want to turn the key, turning peg, tuning key, there we go. I knew I had that. And you want to wind it so that the string is underneath that loop. So you want to wind that up, and you want the string to go underneath the hole. Keep winding it. I'll show a picture of this later so that you can see what I'm talking about. You can stick it over so that it's in that little indented spot right here on the nut. That's what this piece is here. So here's where the tuner comes in handy. I like to tune as I go. It doesn't have to be perfect tuning, but I like it to be pretty close so that I'm not in outer space. So keep tuning it. You might hear the pin pop up a little bit. If you do, just stick it back in. So when I know I'm pretty close, that's when I start to look at the tuner. So I'm at D sharp, and I wanted an E. So there we go. Okay, so it's still going to stretch and change, but now look at the difference between the new string and the older strings. See how much brighter that new string is? Yeah, that's how badly I needed to change the strings. All right, then you want to repeat it. Go to the next string down. Loosen it up as much as you can until you can pretty much pull it up off the neck. Then grab that pin. Okay, put it in a safe place. Pull it out. Unwind it. And Daddario tells me that this string should have a red ball, so that's the one that I'm using. I'm sticking it into that hole there in the saddle, and then I'm taking the pin and putting it in so that that indented place is facing the sound hole. And I'm going to move the guitar here so that I can wind it on the tuning key. Again, wind from the inside. Come around, stick it in the hole on the other side, and pull it through. Then you want to wind it up. Now they make these little tools that help you wind it, but I never found those too useful, so I just use my hands. Okay, wind it around. See, it's still pretty loose, so keep going. Make sure that it's in the ridge there. My cat really wants to play with this string. Alright, so I'm pretty close. Let's see where I'm at. So that should be an A. So that pin was starting to pop up, so I stuck it back in. So don't worry about getting it perfectly in tune. So now we'll get the next one. Loosen it up until it's really loose. Pull the pin up, pull the string out, take it out, throw it down to the cat who is enjoying playing with the old strings. Alright, so I'm going to put in the next string here. Now if you forget what order the strings go in, you can always look at the package and this beautiful color coding. So if I'm looking at the color coding, I'll see that the next one I need to put on has a black end. Now I'm not going to worry about cutting off the ends right now. We're going to do that at the very end. Also, as you're putting on strings, you might want to wipe the dust off. You can see that my guitar is a little dusty. Even though I play it all the time, it's dusty. Who knew? Alright, so I'm going to get this string out of the way. And put this one in the hole. Put the peg in with the indented spot facing the sound hole. And then wind it from the inside. So now it's time for the last string, the one on the bottom. So same thing as I did with the other ones. I'm going to loosen it up a whole bunch until it's like a loose rubber band. And then I'm going to pull out the pin, put it in a safe place, pull it out, and unwind it. Now with these thinner strings that are on the top, because they're not wound, sometimes people think that they need to wind them around a whole bunch to get them to stay. And it is a good idea to go around maybe one more time on the peg here so that it stays a little better, but you don't have to go too crazy. Usually they stay in there pretty well. So again, the pin goes in with the dent facing towards the sound hole, and then I'm going to stick it here and wind it again from the inside. Always wind from the inside. I'm going to go around, I think I'm going to go around once this time. I'm going to hit that hole on the other side and pull it through. Pull it tight. And I'm going to tighten it up, keeping the string that I'm winding underneath the hole. Because again, if it gets above the hole, then it's going to slide up over the top, or it could. So I'm going to wind it up. I'm guiding it to the indented spot that's here on my on the nut, and keep tightening it up. I don't know if you can see my cat. He's having a good old time with the strings I threw down on the floor. They're actually not very good cat toys because they're sharp on one side, but I think he'll be okay. So I'm going to tighten this up until it stops sounding like a loose rubber band. So I don't know if you heard that, but the pin started to pop up, so I mushed it back down again. So I'm getting close. I'm going to check the tuner. So that bottom one should be an E. I have a video about tuning your guitar if you want more information about that. Okay. Alright, so that's all 6 strings. Now you'll notice that the strings are all wound from the inside. See how they come up from the inside each time? Do not wind them the other way or it's going to be really hard to tune them. So now, do a final tuning. So I'm going to start from the top because the strings are stretching, so they're not going to stay in tune the first time you put them on. And then A, the D, G, B, and then the E. It's like a new guitar when you put strings on it. So some people will wind these up into a loop to keep them out of the way. I don't see the point of that. I like to just chop them right off. Well, it helps if you have a wire cutter that's sharp. There we go. And then you can cut them all off and you have changed all the strings on your guitar. It's like having a new guitar. Voila! Please subscribe. There's a red button in the corner. If you want information about Skype lessons, go to jamieanderson.com and there's an email form that you can use there. And while you're there, look around. I'm a singer-songwriter. I've got lots of albums. I'd love for you to listen to my songs. Thanks a lot, everybody. Jackson wants to say goodbye too. Say goodbye. What do you think, Jackson? Jackson was such a help in helping me change the strings. All right, bye. Thanks for tuning in.